Hey guys, welcome to my YouTube channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Liz and this is Let's Get Lizical, where we do everything card making. And today we're going to be making a mini card and a little envelope to go with it. I've made these cards before. I don't think I've done them on screen before, but I'm using a Polaroid die set from Lawn Fawn. I'm not exactly sure what it's called, but I'll make sure to link it in the description down below. It comes with two Polaroid sizes and a stitched heart. I'm using the larger one today because I want to make a little mini note card, and I'm going to be creating just like a little scene on it. As usual, we're ink blending clouds, but I'm using the Michaels Recollections stencil. This stencil set I think was like $5, and you get like 3 stencils. You got the cloud, there was a grass one, and then there was one with like mountains and water lines and whatnot. But I just thought that this would be a little bit easier for this card because these are a bit smaller for the background instead of the MFT ones that I usually use. Those ones are a bit more big. So I thought that this set would be a little bit easier. And if you have a Michaels close by, then you can just run over to Michaels and grab the cloud stencil. They should have it there. And so what I'm doing is I'm going to cut out the Polaroid, and then I'm going to cut out the card base. The card base itself, if you want a 1/8 inch border around it, which is what I'm leaving, the finished measurements will be 3 1/4 by 3 7/8. So I'm cutting my card base to 6 1/2 by 3 7/8. I think I cut it to 4 first, but then I trimmed it down after, because the measurements are a little bit weird. And I have figured out which size to cut the envelope to, so I'll go through that when we get to that. But right now I'm just cutting out the Polaroid itself. I've already ink blended the background, and then we'll need sentiments and images and whatnot, but right now we're just gonna cut out the Polaroid. And I do end up adding a little bit extra to this. I don't show it on screen, I did it off screen just because there's like so much white on this card. You see me gluing down the frame here, but like because the clouds are white on the white frame, off screen I took a gray pencil crayon and just kind of ran it along the inner edges of the Polaroid frame just to give it a little bit of separation. I could have just like ink blended a little bit more around the edges and stuff, but I just didn't do that. So I just added a little bit of extra color with a pencil crayon because it was like the least risky thing to do. If you tried doing it with alcohol marker, the alcohol marker might have bled onto the frame, and then I would have had to have cut another one and then stacked it. But the pencil crayon worked just fine, just to give it that little bit of separation. And again, because this is white on white, I am also going to be ink blending the edges of the card base itself in with the same marine ink that I used for the clouds. And again, the clouds today, I used the swiping motion. So instead of blending in circles, I've been swiping up or into my stencils depending on what it is. The other day I swiped in towards the center because it was like the negative cutout, I guess, of the box, and I wanted to add a vignette. Today I'm swiping up off of the stencil, and then it just kind of like gives it a more harsh line for the clouds, and then just gives it that, you know, subtle ombre feeling of like fading off into the distance. And I really like doing this technique on the clouds. This is probably how I'm going to do it from now on, and I want to ink blend tons more clouds. I know I've been using these types of like stencils and stuff a lot lately, but I really do enjoying making like sky backgrounds. It's really fun. I want to try doing it in different colors and different settings and stuff, so maybe we'll get to that soon. We'll see. But yeah, so we're just always ink blending clouds for days. And now I'm going to figure out what I'm doing for my sentiment. I wanted to originally put the you make my and then heart, like I was gonna cut out this heart and put it there and then smile, but I end up changing my mind a little bit because I wanted to use this die cut heart instead as like the balloon. And right now I'm just struggling with my holographic sticker overlay. It took me so long to get this off for some reason. I have a problem with stickers sometimes. I don't have much nails, but they work sometimes, they don't work other times. I end up taking this like off screen and then doing it. But I'm just kind of like pushing it on, and then I press, like burnish it into the sticker paper from the back. I've tried it from the front, but it kind of scratches up the film. So I tried to do it from the back. You could also like probably just throw this through your die cutting machine just to help press it down a little bit better as well. But I'm already doing that with the die, so I don't really need to. But I just, again, just do it from the back. It's easier. You'll save yourself some headaches. So yeah, here originally I wanted to lay it out so that the heart, instead of it saying heart, had the heart there. And I end up changing my mind because I want to use that heart as the balloon on the image instead. I'm just going to cover up the balloon image that the mouse is holding and use the holographic heart in its place. I'm still going to stamp it out and cut it out because I'm using my scan and cut today to cut out my images. But I just use that as like the base and like the template as to where I would put the heart. So now I'm going to start working on my images. See, I'll just like kind of like layer it on top there. And for the word heart that I've substituted, I'm actually going to stamp that in red ink. And I'll do that in a bit. I'm just going to do the mouse image first. And then after we'll add it. Originally I was going to add the mouse image to the base, but then I end up popping it up on foam tape. Normally I would not realize this until after that I need to stamp the sentiment before you add dimension, but this time I remembered. But for now I'm just going to do quick and simple coloring on this mouse. I did his ears and nose, I believe, in the like a pinky peachy color that I usually use for like skin tones and stuff. And then for the mouse itself, I'm going to do it in grays because I wasn't sure what other color to do it in anyway. I didn't want to do it in brown. I really like the gray mice. Gray mice are cute. And the balloon, again, I'm not going to color it because I'm just going to cover it up with the die cut balloon. So I'm just going to leave that alone. And then once I'm done coloring this, I'm going to, I think I forgot to stamp this one again. But with like Lawn Fawn images, because their lines are so thick, they don't bleed as much as like the thinner images. And it doesn't look terrible or anything. Ideally, I would have liked to have stamped it again, but again, like the lines weren't touched very much because I didn't really go over too many of them anyway. So I just forgot it this time and it was okay. So here I'm just adding that extra heart word with the chili pepper ink from Lawn Fawn, and I'm just going to stamp it twice because it didn't stamp perfectly the first time. And then I'm using these little tiny 3M foam dots. I got these off of Amazon. They're actually very handy, and I just use my pokey tool to kind of like pick them up and put them on the image. And then some of the backings wanted to come off, some of them didn't, so I went between using my fingers and my pokey tool depending on how easily they came off or how easily they didn't in some cases. And then I'm just gonna pop this up in the middle of the clouded section, and then we're gonna glue the heart on top of the heart balloon, and I'm gonna make sure that it's fully covered as well, like the knot and everything at the bottom, just so that it looks like this is the balloon. It's just really cute. This card size is adorable, and I want to make more of these. But we also need an envelope for it, and who has envelopes for this size laying around? So for this, you want to cut it to 6 1/4 inch squared, and then score it at 3 3/8 on your envelope cutting board, and that will give you like the perfect little envelope for that. So I'm just assembling this, and I'll put those measurements in the description as well, just so that you have them ready. You don't need to remember them, you can write them down later. And yeah, so there's the cute little card and envelope for today. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment down below, and let me know your thoughts. If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please subscribe because I'd love to have you here. And until next time, thanks guys, bye.